Floating Squares baby quilt. And I have it all quilted. And when I was with you last, I was just doing my serpentine stitch that goes down, and I'll show you in a minute up closer. But I was just going down each floating square. I call this the floating square. And I just did 2 rows of my serpentine. Well, and then I did 1 on the border and went all the way across. Well, I thought maybe it would be sufficient enough quilting, but it really wasn't. And I thought, I don't want to go across because it breaks up. I didn't want to distract from these squares looking kind of floating. So I didn't want to go back over it. So I just decided to do some straight line stitch in the ditch. And I went the opposite direction. My serpentine goes this way. So I went this way with my stitching in the ditch just on each side of each block. And it's quite sufficient now. I think the rule of thumb sometimes is anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. Don't go any more than that. And this is definitely okay. Then also I want to tell you, I recommend, and I didn't go all the way down on this one, I'll have to do this, but I recommend what has helped me the most in putting on a pretty binding is I stitch 1/8 of an inch straight stitch all the way around the quilt. And it takes time, yes, but you will never struggle with your binding puckering or bunching up or waving. And it's just it's a lifesaver to me. So I want you to remember that and do that extra step if you don't already. Now, if you're quilted all the way up to the edge in different patterns, it's not necessary. But see, I have a good inch right here from there, from my serpentine stitch right here. So I felt it necessary to do that. So if you don't learn anything ever from me ever again, I hope that you'll always remember this life-saving step in making your binding is to do 1/8 inch all the way around your quilt. All right, now I was wondering how many of you do your binding the way I do. I mean, I don't know that there's a standard rule. Well, first of all, let me show you the serpentine stitch, what I'm talking about. See, I did that all the way down, and then I went the opposite direction with my stitch in the ditch. And it's more than sufficient. And see, it doesn't compete with each other. It's great. You know, you can use many different ways to quilt on the same quilt. You don't have to do it all the same. Use your imagination sometimes. Okay. I like to cut my binding strips 2 1/4 inches. Sometimes I cut them on a big, like a 90 by 90 quilt. I would cut them 2 1/2. But on something like the baby quilt, I cut them 2 1/4 inch strips. And I measure, of course, one side and the other side and double it. Well, that was 53 1/2 and 45 1/2. And I doubled both sides and I got 198 inches. My strips were 39 inches, so I need 6 of them. 5 of them wasn't enough, and 6 is too much. But I like to have a good 8 inches on each side when I'm joining my strips, okay? All right, this is how I join my strips. Now, I don't, why? It's just how I started doing it. Somebody showed it to me, and that's the way I do it. I take my bottom piece and extend it just ever so slightly up at the top, so you can see. And that way I know where my edge is exactly, and I can mark it. And I do the same here, because then I know I can sew exactly to my edge. So I extend this piece so I can see exactly where I'm at. Then I sew just a standard stitch on that line and trim a 1/4 inch, or you can even do a 1/2 inch if you want, but a 1/4 inch is good. And then you'll turn it. Can't really show you, but you will turn it and have a wonderful piece joined together with a diagonal. And then I just continue my strips like that. But putting that ever so slightly, that bottom one, up, helps you to mark your line so much better. And then after you fold it back up, if you need to trim, you just trim this edge. All right. I have many videos on binding, so I hate to show you another one, but I did want to elaborate on, getting started in cutting them and how many strips you'll need and everything. Like I say, I like a good 8 inches on each side. I can always trim it down. Then I don't have to worry about tugging and shifting and making a mess. So when I get the binding on, we'll come back and we'll look at the finished product. And it's going to be so even better when it's laundered, because it makes that stitching and everything just bunch up. Now, I know I've heard some people say I don't like that, but to me, that's what makes a quilt. And I do. I like it. I mean, I like the looks after it's been laundered or washed, whatever you want to call it. All right. Like I say, one last tip I want to tell you about. This, to me, it's not ethical. It's probably not in the quilting books. It's not anywhere. It's just something I started doing to make my job easier. You see these ends? These ends get so hard with bulk. It can break a needle. Well, when you're putting on binding and going this way, when you get here and try to go against this, see, you're pushing this down this side. It's impossible to get over this hump, and I know you've had that problem. All right, this is what I do. I quit about, almost to the stitch line, and about right there. And I'll just start going down. So I've got this much and maybe a little tiny tad right here open. Well, this is what I do. I go back then and put it in this way, the opposite direction. And see, with this serpentine stitch, I have to try to match the stitch. Now that's a little challenging, and I did it just great on this end. I think I did. I think it looks just great. You can't tell that I stopped and have to go back. So I put my needle, I know kind of where that serpentine stitch ends, and I put it right where I quit, and put my needle down and sew it, and it goes down on this hard piece right here. You have to guide it. You have to kind of tug in the back, but it goes beautifully, and it'll sew and sew your seam, your binding down. It works like a charm, and I just got so frustrated of my corners not looking right. Well, now they're sharp, they look great, and it's because I didn't try to force my stitch going all the way down. Let's go through it just one more time. Stop right here, then put your quilt back in and start, about right here, just so you don't have any of that bulk. And I start about right there and go all the way down. Then come back. When you've done the whole quilt, and you'll have to do all your corners. Then come back, stick it under the machine, match up your stitching. Now if you used a straight stitch, it's easy as pie. But using a serpentine, I have to kind of figure out, my curves and try to start on that. But I'm here to tell you, nobody in the world would know I did that. It works like a charm. So, that's my tip number 1 for the day. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching me, and I appreciate you, and God bless. Well, guys, here it is, all nice and clean, and it's been washed in the washing machine, and I'm very proud of it. Now, look at the binding, and with the little, see, that's the small serpentine. I have 2 different, the larger one and the smaller one. And I love it because it goes right to the edge of the binding, and you don't have any, that will catch on anything. So it's done and ready, and I hope she likes it. I think she will. So, floating squares. Remember, you can use any color combination in the world, and it makes just a lovely, lovely baby quilt. All right. Thank you. God bless.